Welcome to Backlash Live here in Lyon, in France, in which we're kicking it off here with a no-holds-barred match between the megastar LA Knight and the Scottish Warrior, Drew McIntyre. And if you're wondering why this matchup is taking place over the past couple of weeks on SmackDown, these two have been trading words and fists with one another, as these two originally had a matchup in which Drew McIntyre won, but cheated to win. And the next week these two engaged in some words, and later in the night LA Knight won his matchup. Drew McIntyre laid LA Knight out in the middle of the ring. And well, tonight LA Knight's looking for revenge against Drew McIntyre. Nick Aldis made this matchup on SmackDown, interrupting those two from exchanging even more words on SmackDown. And tonight they kick off part one of Backlash here in a no-holds-barred match, which promises to be not for the faint-of-hearted, as these two truly do not like each other and believe that they should be next in line for the #1 spot on SmackDown, currently held by Cody Rhodes, who will defend his WWE Championship against Andrade in the main event of part two. But we turn our attention to our first matchup here tonight, which is Drew McIntyre, a pissed off Scotsman who's been waiting for his moment for a long time. It's never came, and he said he's done waiting. He's now going to take what is rightfully his. Well, Drew McIntyre tonight will possibly start by taking over the spot that LA Knight currently resides in SmackDown, taking over him, stepping over him, and going one rung up the ladder of a victory here tonight over LA Knight. It's in a way needed for Drew McIntyre. Everything he's been saying and doing over the past couple of weeks, if he loses here tonight, then well, his momentum could go down the drain. Let's get this one out of the way here in a second. And well, where we go in this one, I believe these two are not going to take time for getting this one underway. It's a slap to the face of just waking up LA Knight now with some huge chops. Now we're at the ropes, looking for a huge lariat, caught by Drew McIntyre and slammed down into the mat here. He used to waste a little time with throwing haymakers in this one. Like I said, this one is a no-holds-barred match, so anything goes in this one. And Drew McIntyre is asking LA Knight to bring it. LA Knight's going to do so. A jab to the face of Drew McIntyre, who answers with an open palm slap here. As both of these two in the early going to this one here, just standing and trading in the middle of the ring with everything they've got. And well, this one is starting off, well, as we expected, it's starting off feisty. It's starting off barbaric as Drew connects with a huge boot there to the face of Knight with a grand pound there, with some more huge punches into the face of LA Knight, dropping a mega sol there. As Drew McIntyre now in control, picks up LA Knight, slams in down there, and just continuing the assault with a scrape of his boot across the face of the mega sol here. As blatant solid disrespect, and now just standing over, and then now continuing to beat down here with Drew McIntyre with some more right hands to the face there, and a stomp there to the midsection. As LA Knight is currently in a bad way here, as now sent into the corner here by Drew McIntyre, a huge punch to the face though. LA Knight answers back here, and LA Knight here trying to rally here with some huge jabs, looking for a clothesline, caught by Drew McIntyre, hoisted up, and that was stalling. This is impressive strength by Drew McIntyre, one leg, stalling, suplex to regain control. Well, this is the way this matchup needs to go for Drew McIntyre. He needs to stay in control, needs to use his power, needs to use his anger and frustration. Descends not over the top rope there, crashing to ringside. As if this matchup can get behind LA Knight, the crowd can get behind him, and that is exactly what Drew McIntyre doesn't want. He sends him crashing there into the barricade. Now raining down some punches here to the face of the megastar at ringside. That's Drew now Taking a table out from ringside, bringing up the woodwork here tonight. It's Drew McIntyre. He's looking to utilise that table to inflict more damage and pain to the megastar LA Knight. It sends him flying into the barricade again there. That's Drew McIntyre now looking to turn his attention back to the table. Looking to possibly set it up here in the middle of the ring. Drew McIntyre has done so. And LA Knight's recovering at ringside, but LA Knight's in a bad way here as he catches a huge form near and looking to send McIntyre fighting into the barricade himself here. And looking for a huge knee to the face. As LA Knight trying to rally in this one, trying to get the crowd behind him. And LA Knight do so. As Knight now hoisting up McIntyre, but McIntyre slips behind a chop block there. And McIntyre just screaming in the faces of everyone that's behind the megastar here tonight. See, McIntyre believes he is deserving, well, more than deserving, of a championship shot as that table collapses under, well, just Drew McIntyre sending LA Knight into the table as he went back into the ring. So a huge power bombs to the table there by Drew McIntyre. An awful landing there for LA Knight on the hips there, on the table edge there, as McIntyre is sending Knight over into the corner here. But Drew McIntyre's got bad intentions for LA Knight here. As Knight's in a bad way in the corner, as Knight fights out the corner there with a punch to the face of Drew McIntyre and sends McIntyre to the corner himself with a punch there, rocks Drew McIntyre. As LA Knight now looking to go big here. Looking to send McIntyre crashing through the table that he brought into the ring. As a megastar now with a superplex off the top. And now looking for the megastar elbow into the cover in the middle of the ring to put this one away here. But McIntyre is still in there. It's going to take much more than that to put away Drew McIntyre here tonight as LA Knight now. Just stalking. McIntyre's getting back to his feet here. With a knee to the face of the clothesline. Dropping McIntyre to the mat there. As LA Knight now, what's he looking for here? Underneath the ring. The crowd want more tables, but LA Knight's got a light tube in hand. Unfortunately for him, Drew McIntyre knocks it out of his hands before he could utilise it. Now Drew McIntyre just launching LA Knight flying across the ring there. No Kieran award for the livelihood of LA Knight after that crash landing there. And McIntyre now smashing that light tube, I believe, into the neck there of LA Knight, just stabbing him with it. And running some punches down into the face of LA Knight again is Drew McIntyre. As McIntyre now sending a bin into the ring here. It's McIntyre now looking for a clothesline. Caught by LA Knight. Kick to the midsection. BFT. But McIntyre stays alive. And LA Knight can't believe it. And LA Knight looking to get the crowd behind him here as Knight now with the bin in hand smashes Drew McIntyre face first into the edge of the bin there. It's McIntyre now putting himself up into the corner as McIntyre sent a bin launching into the face there. And now LA Knight just looking to stomp away, but the bin getting in the way of LA Knight here. And Drew McIntyre a boot there to the face, boot there to the midsection. Now a claymore to LA Knight. And McIntyre now into the cover. But Knight stays alive. And Drew's getting frustrated now. As LA Knight now gets a clubbing blow straight through the chest there. Courtesy of Drew McIntyre for his troubles. As McIntyre now back into the ring here with steel chair in hand, but LA Knight with a huge lariat there. Stopping Drew McIntyre from using that steel chair. And wisely doing so. As LA Knight with some huge jabs here, but Drew McIntyre with a Glasgow kiss. Headbutt there to LA Knight, who now is putting himself up on the ropes here. Steel chair to the face by McIntyre. That's Drew now. A blood pouring from his nose. Drop down over Michinoku driver. And LA Knight's in a bad way here now. Some boots here to the face of the megastar. Asher again going to ringside, looking for more implements from underneath the ring here. Drew McIntyre with another table being brought into this one. Last time this didn't work out for Drew McIntyre. He got put through the table that he introduced into the matchup. But with that boot there busted up in LA Knight, that could have just got a matchup, or close to being done for Drew McIntyre. As LA Knight caught there. Well, LA Knight's in a bad way here. Busted open, he's dazed, he's bruised, he's fatigued. To everything needs to put each other through in this one so far. As McIntyre is now looking to go big here. With a table behind him, looking to put him through the table with an air raid crash off the top rope here. As McIntyre with the air raid crash through the table. And a stomp there to the ankle, just a good measure there by Drew McIntyre. And Drew now sensing the beginning of the end here. Looking for a claymore. If he connects with this one, it's over. And LA Knight's out of the way. Somehow Knight's still alive in this one. As Knight middle rope here. Calling Drew to his feet. Looking to fly in. Blockbuster by LA Knight. Impressive there. And once again stalking McIntyre here is the megastar. As LA Knight now knee to the face. And a close out again there. The megastar now going middle rope here, looking forward. The megastar elbow off the top. Is that enough to end this one? But somehow again, McIntyre kicks out there. Well, Drew now smashed a spine buster. With authority there by Drew McIntyre. Now hoists up LA Knight here, looking to drop him down with a huge sit-out powerbomb. Well, huge deadly powerbomb there, I should say. As LA Knight's bleeding now in a bad way here. Both of these men are bleeding in this one. As McIntyre now looking for an overhead, belly to belly to LA Knight. Well, McIntyre sensing the beginning of the end here. However, once again returning to ringside for an implement once again as he finds another glass tube. And McIntyre caught by LA Knight now with the glass tube across the midsection. Somehow it didn't break. As LA Knight now measuring the shot and smashes it over the forehead of Drew McIntyre. And Knight believes that could be enough here. But Drew once again stays alive. Jab there to the face. LA Knight caught low. And LA Knight looking to answer back here. As both of these two just standing and trading like they're open the matchup here. In the middle, or I should say towards the corner of the ring here. As these two, with Drew McIntyre pinned into the corner here. As these two are now just exchanging huge blows here. And you got to imagine whoever misses first, whoever's legs give way, will be the one to lose his matchup here. As LA Knight catches him here. And Knight now with the lariat. As Knight now getting the crowd behind him, now stalking Drew McIntyre. Looking to put this one away here. Here's the megastar looking for a BFT. McIntyre says not today. Forearm to the face. Punch to the back of the head. Looking for a future shock. LA Knight says nah, not today to Drew McIntyre. And a huge right hand dodge there by Drew McIntyre. Somehow. But LA Knight gets a drop kick. And what LA Knight here. Sensing the beginning of the end of this matchup here. The megastar now hoisting up Drew McIntyre. And to send the Scotsman crashing down to the mat there. That's what the megastar got planned next there. And imagine that this matchup is on its way to being over. These two are throwing everything they've got at each other, and somehow this one is still going. And LA Knight's looking to go big here. It's go big or go home at this stage of the matchup. As LA Knight's looking to fly and climbs to the top rope here. Looking for a superplex to get off the top rope here. Can it connect with it? Yes, he does. And this one surely is about to be over here. As LA Knight now calling McIntyre to his feet here. And well, LA Knight's looking to put this one away here as LA Knight now sending McIntyre, placing McIntyre over that steel chair with a BFT onto the steel chair, and that's it. And LA Knight picks up the victory. But look at the state of LA Knight and to what Drew McIntyre did to him here tonight. And what a matchup this was to open Backlash. It was bloody, it was brutal, as we expected. Well, LA Knight gets some measure of revenge, getting a victory over Drew McIntyre here tonight. But the issues between these two are far from over, I can promise you that. As Drew McIntyre won't like being pinned here tonight. And Drew McIntyre wasn't dream shoot after that BFT onto the steel chair. There was no way he was kicking out after that one. Well, LA Knight had to go to a dark place tonight to win this matchup, but he won't care nonetheless. He got the victory. That's all that matters in the mind of the megastar here tonight. Well, Drew McIntyre, you got to imagine he's going to be seething when it comes to hearing the music of LA Knight, knowing that he got pinned, and knowing that maybe LA Knight is next in line for a big championship shot on SmackDown, and it won't be Drew McIntyre, the man that he believes, well, himself deserves it. It'll be the man that he called a knockoff of The Rock in Austin, a man that is just a catchphrase, and without the crowd wouldn't be anywhere near the level he is in WWE. And well, what a matchup this was. And the megastar over off the top rope there, almost getting the job done here. And you can see the table rubble all over the ring. Both men bleeding at this stage of the matchup, I believe. But somehow Drew McIntyre still alive here. And this was after a huge shot with a glass tube, I believe, across the face, and McIntyre kicked out. And right here was the beginning of the end here. And LA Knight risking everything for this one. As all it took here was for a misstep, or for Drew McIntyre to catch him with a headbutt, or something like that here. But LA Knight managed to catch Drew McIntyre, pull him up, and send him crashing down to the middle of the ring there with a superplex off the top rope for a second time in this matchup. Then right here, measured, signed, sealed, and delivered with the BFT onto the steel chair. And that was all she wrote for Drew McIntyre. But what a matchup this was, bloody brutal, as we expected. And a big victory for LA Knight here tonight. We just knew this was going to happen. Drew McIntyre, a claymore to LA Knight. After the matchup in, Drew McIntyre unleashing assault here on LA Knight. Sorry, after the matchup here. See the blood pouring profusely now from LA Knight to that claymore. And Drew McIntyre just screaming that he isn't done with LA Knight. As McIntyre now backing it up here. Frustrated that he lost and humiliated to get it away. The second claymore. Well, Drew McIntyre's going to give the crowd what they want here. A third and final claymore to LA Knight. And a message sent by Drew McIntyre.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall and is for the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship.
And well, after that brutal and bloody affair between Drew McIntyre and LA Knight, where LA Knight got a big victory, but did not walk out on his own 2 feet, as Drew McIntyre laid him out in the middle of the ring, busted him open wide, badly after those 3 claymore shots. And well, Dakota Kai's out here to try and become women's Intercontinental Champion. Actually, she was in the championship tournament when this title was introduced. Came up short in that, but put up a great, show for herself in that one, and earned this opportunity recently over on SmackDown, I believe it was. She won a matchup. They take on Jade Cargill here tonight, so she is the Women's Intercontinental Champion, after defeating Tatum Paxley at WrestleMania. We haven't seen Tatum Paxley since, but we've got to imagine that Tatum Paxley is possibly be coming back for that championship in the near future. But tonight, could it be Dakota Kai that walks out with it, as Jade Cargill looks to defend here in Lyon in France, in what is going to be a great matchup. This one will be fought with more respect than the last one, as these two women will have respect for each other of what they have achieved in their careers. And obviously Jade Cargill, the champion, is going to try and walk out here, the champion, and defend it against a very, very game and well-informed Dakota Kai. But the question is, has Jade Cargill got what it takes to walk out of here the champion? That's what we're going to find out here in a few moments. When that bell rings, you see Dakota Kai getting ready, getting limber in the ring. Well, Jade Cargill is a star, and a star holds championship gold, and that is always around the waist of Jade Cargill, the Storm. The second ever women's Intercontinental Champion. The first was Tate and Patsy. She won that championship at day one. Held it all the way up until WrestleMania when she was bested by Jade Cargill for that championship. And Jade has been successful in the title defenses so far. But can she defend here tonight in Lyon, France against Dakota Kai, a woman who's looking to take that spot? So she came very close to becoming the first ever women's Intercontinental Champion. She was bested by Kairi Sane, had to help, I believe, from Asuka in the women's IC Championship tournament, and it was Kairi Sane v Tate and Patsy in the final at day one for that championship, and Tate and Patsy came out the victor on that night. But the question is, can Jade Cargill continue her legacy after defeating Tate and Patsy for that championship at WrestleMania and defeat Dakota Kai here tonight? I see no damage control at ringside, but Dakota Kai is broken through from that group, but she's best up on her own, and she becomes champion. And it's going to be hard to dispute that claim. Well, let's hand you over to Alicia Taylor for the ring introductions here in a second. And that is what's on the line here tonight, the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Let's get this one underway after the ring introductions are done by Alicia Taylor.
Introducing the challenger from Auckland, New Zealand, Dakota Kai. And her opponent from Orlando, Florida, the WWE Women's Intercontinental Champion, Jade Cargill.
Well, Jade Cargill, obviously the crowd favourite. The fans do like Dakota Kai as well, but Jade has a bigger following. But can she walk out here tonight the champion, or will we see a new and third in the history of that belt champion in Dakota Kai? Will it change hands quickly, or will Jade continue her title run here tonight against this woman, Dakota Kai? Let's find out here once the bell has rung. And where we go ahead, like I said, this one's probably going to be fought with much more of a sign of respect for both women from either side here tonight than the last one between Drew McIntyre and LA Knight. As the back switch here by Dakota Kai here. I see much more experienced wrestler than Jade Cargill. Got to give her the advantage in the wrestling aspect, but when it comes to the power and maybe the speed, you've got to give the advantage to Jade Cargill. Sorry, to Dakota Kai here, but a snap near taking down Jade Cargill here, as these two women looking to put their best foot forward and walk out champion. Will Jade retain, or will Dakota Kai win her first singles gold here, I believe, in WWE? As these two women here putting everything on the line in this one so far. A great contest between these two so far, as these two are just locking horns in the middle of the ring. As some elbows to the face there, Jade Cargill break the hold down. Now Dakota Kai with a scorpion kick there to the forehead, and that could be it here. Jade Cargill could be on Dream Street here, but Jade is just about sealing it there. A kick out at 2.5 to Dakota Kai. She knew after those two forearm strikes right to the temple and then that huge scorpion kick, it could have been over, as Jade's in a bad way here. Jade is rocked early on in this one, snapped mid-air by Dakota Kai, who's looking to have to go middle rope, as Jade's getting herself back to her feet here. Jade catches Dakota Kai here. This is not good for Dakota Kai. Jade Cargill just showcasing the strength here. Hoists her up and sidewalk slam, dropping it down there into the pinfall. And Dakota kicks out there. So this one is well and truly underway here. That's Dakota Kai hoisted up by Jade, slipped out the back though, and a drop kick there to the neck. That was smart there from Dakota Kai, taking advantage, using the speed advantage. I guess you could say that she does have any experience advantage over Jade Cargill. As now Dakota Kai with another drop kick there to the back of the neck there. And now Dakota Kai here. A double foot stomp. A second double foot stomp there to the midsection this time, no. And Dakota Kai's rolling in this one with penalty kick there right to the face. Into another cover here. This one's going quick here tonight. But Jade is still in it here. That could have been it for the title reign of Jade Cargill if it wasn't for that kick out there. As Dakota Kai with some kicks here to the face of Jade Cargill here. That's Dakota here. Looking for a huge roundhouse kick. Jade Cargill stops it in his tracks though. And Jade here. Looking for a German suplex and launches Dakota Kai into the corner there. And with Dakota Kai holding her leg there, that's not a great sign there for Dakota Kai. There's an Inzaguri there. But he fainted and played the possum there. A stomp there to the ankle. And another stomp there, but Dakota Kai nowhere home. No one's home there for that one. As Jade now with some short on clotheslines. A frustration being thrown into the face and the mid-set, or I should say the throat there of Dakota Kai, sorry. But a short on clotheslines there delivered with authority there by Jade Cargill. So it's Dakota Kai hoisted up here by Jade. And Dakota Kai here slipping out the back, hit reverse DDT. Impressive reversal there by Dakota Kai here. Kick here to the midsection. It's Dakota Kai thinking chiropractor here. Becoming the women's intercontinental champion. Can she do so? But Jade stays alive. A 2.5 count there for Dakota Kai. That was almost a new women's intercontinental champion there for Dakota Kai. It's Jade now. Arm wrench here by Dakota Kai. Throw to the face. And Jade with a pump kick. Send Dakota Kai flying across the ring there. Is that enough? And Dakota Kai with rope break there, saving the matchup for herself there. It could have been all over if it wasn't for the rope break. That was great ring awareness there by Dakota Kai. There's Jade Cargill now. Kick it, well, needed to the midsection, looking to float over here and drop it down face first. Into the mat there. Into another cover here. And Dakota Kai this time is forced to kick out there. And it exudes energy. That's Jade Cargill here. Hoists up Jade. Well, Jade catches her here, looking for an emphatic choke slam. Middle of the ring to retain the title. But somehow Dakota Kai stays alive in this one. The crash and fight for this one here. They might have to tonight. This one may not be over, but a spear there by Jade may help to get towards its conclusion. As Jade put everything behind that spear down now. Another German suplex to Dakota Kai, who's in a bad way here. As Kai here. Some kicks to the legs of Jade Cargill, trying to just get an opportunity for herself here. As Dakota Kai now hoisting up Jade. And a boot there to the face, a detonation kick to win the title into the cover. But Jade is still in it. And a crash and appreciation for this one is, well, Dakota Kai saying that should have been a 3 count. But Jade Cargill is back to her feet here. And Jade hoists her up and slams her down. Well, this one, you've got to imagine is coming towards its conclusion here. It's Jade Cargill now going through the wheelhouse here, showcasing the power this deep into a matchup here. And dropping it down into the middle of the ring there. That's Jade here. What is she thinking next? So Jade Cargill now. Possibly thinking about putting this one away here. It's Jade now. A boot here to the throat there, but Dakota Kai kicks out the corner here. And Dakota Kai now. Look, with a pump kick all around there, busting open Jade Cargill. And Dakota Kai looking for the double foot stomp, but Jade out the way here. And Jade, the forearm to the jaw there. Rocking Dakota Kai. And Cargill now catches her, spins around, slams her down. Well, Jade Cargill calling for the beginning of the end here. And she's looking to go big or go home here. Here in Lyon finds to retain the women's Intercontinental Championship after being busted open by Dakota Kai with an avalanche. Jaded. But Jade Cargill is not done there. They crash it in one more time. And Jade looking to put this one away emphatically here. Looking for a second Jaded, parading Kai, who is on Dream Street, head to the first one. And now plants her face first into the cover. And Jade Cargill retains the women's Intercontinental Championship here tonight in what was a very, very fast-paced match between these two, but a great matchup nonetheless. Dakota Kai came so close on multiple occasions to winning that title, but in the end, Jade Cargill walks in champion and walks out champion here tonight. And like I said, Dakota Kai, a great showcase again for herself. She's come so close to becoming champion on multiple occasions now. You've got to imagine that there's something missing for Dakota Kai to get over the edge, to get over that finishing line and win the championship. Whatever it is, Dakota Kai will go home. She'll figure out what's next for her in her career here, as the chiropractor here was almost enough to win the championship. But Jade just about kicked out there after that forearm to the face there and that huge pump kick. I thought that may have been enough there, but if it wasn't for a rope break, it may have been. And Jade here with this impressive maneuver, hoisting her up and slamming it down face first there, getting a 2-count here for herself after this one, as Dakota Kai kept the matchup alive there for herself. And well, Jade here using her strength and hoisting Dakota Kai all the way up in the air, now picking her out the air and slamming her down with an emphatic choke slam, which wasn't enough to get the job done. Somehow Dakota Kai kicked out there. And we're right here after the avalanche Jade Cargill gave the crowd exactly what they wanted one more time. And this one was just the exclamation point. Maybe some anger and frustration being busted open by Dakota Kai, dropping it down again in the middle of the ring to put this one away and retain the women's Intercontinental Championship.
The WWE Women's Intercontinental Champion, Jade Cargill.
And well, it's time here at Backlash in Lyon for Trick Williams, the United States Champion, to defend his title in an open challenge he has set here tonight.
Making his way to the ring from Columbia, South Carolina, weighing in at 205 pounds, the WWE United States Champion, Trick Williams.
And while Trick Williams has been the champion for the past 7 months after defeating Logan Paul for that title all that time ago. And it's been a great champion ever since, defending this title against some great opponents, especially Carmella Hayes at day one. And then there's a blood through at WrestleMania. He held that title. But the question is tonight at Backlash, will he walk out United States champion to continue his 7-month reign as United States champion, or will his mystery opponent here tonight walk out United States champion? Let's find out who the crowd favourite and Trick Williams will be taking on here to end this open challenge. After this one, we have a main event in which we find out if John Cena will turn up to Backlash to face Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship. John Cena is the champion. Seth Rollins is looking for the match. But let's see who Trick's taking on. And well, this one is interesting. It's one half of the, arguably the greatest tag team in WWE history, and one of the greatest factions of all time. And Big Jim. Well, this is a big opportunity for Jimmy Uso here tonight. Obviously, he has never held singles gold in this WWE as a well-accomplished tag team wrestler, but has never won singles, well, gold like I mentioned before. Tonight, he's taking on Trick Williams in what promises to be an incredible match. The experience of Jimmy Uso will be a great test for Trick, and if he can beat Jimmy Uso, as what he acknowledges the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns, or who he believes might be the Tribal Chief, as Sudder's to come with technically the Tribal Chief here in WWE after defeating Roman Reigns. We haven't seen Reigns since WrestleMania. Maybe Jimmy Uso is showing some solidarity there for Roman Reigns. Or maybe he's acknowledging Sudder's to come, who knows, but let's get into this one as Trick With a crowd behind Jimmy Uso as well as Trick Williams here tonight as these two lock up in the middle of the ring. This is, like I said, a big opportunity for Jimmy Uso. If he can win singles gold here tonight, then he will, break out from that tag team scene that he's been stuck in for his whole career. As these two, like I mentioned, lock it up in the middle ring. The experience of Jimmy Uso, you've got to imagine it's going to be a big advantage for Trick Williams. Obviously, Trick is, in great form. It's showing that he is going to be a great, superstar for the future of WWE. And in this title reign, he has been credited as Trick Williams since Jimmy Uso off the rope. So Jimmy Uso holding on to the rope, so not going over the top rope. Jimmy Uso with a forearm catches Trick. Now Trick, Jimmy Uso now just wiping him across the ropes there. Jimmy Uso not afraid to go to the dark horse, it seems like here tonight. And Jimmy now, this one chops there to Trick Williams. Looking for a suplex there, sorry. As Trick fights out there, Trick looking for a huge right hand, but Jimmy Uso with the bulldog. That's Jimmy here. With a double axe under to the back to Trick Williams. So like I said, this is a big opportunity for Jimmy Uso. That's why we might be seeing some of the darker side of Jimmy Uso here tonight, but that is something that Trick Williams is not afraid to do himself here. Trick Williams is willing to fight dirty if he's pushed. So there's this Trick with a huge suplex of his own there. Gains control of the match. Now the Grand Panda reverse there with some forms to the face by Jimmy Uso. Big Jim now with a kick to the lower back of Trick Williams. Now looking for the elbow drop, a Trick out of the way. As Trick now flies in looking for a shoulder tackle there, but Jimmy Uso the experience once again there with a drop toe hold. This one's been a fast-paced start here tonight. Jimmy Uso now. There's some punches in the corner here. The question is, what Jimmy Uso are we getting? Are we getting no Yeet Jimmy? Or are we getting the Jimmy Uso that has stood with Jey Uso in the years since the bloodline? That's Trick after that huge pump kick here. Looking for a huge move, looking for a pump handle. Power slam there. Into the cover here. But Jimmy kicks out at the count of two. And Trick believed that was enough to put this one away, but Jimmy Uso still in this one. That's Big Jim now. Putting himself up on the ropes as Jimmy Uso now. Fights out with a shoulder tackle to the midsection there. That's Jimmy now. A headbutt to Trick Williams says Jimmy Uso now going to the top rope. As well, Trick Williams makes it awkward for Big Jim. That's Jimmy now off the ropes, sends Trick Williams. Caught no. Super kick reverse. Drop kick reverse there. And Jimmy Uso super kick to the midsection. Now Jimmy Uso now with a Grand Pound of his own here. And may have just busted open the United States champion in Trick Williams. So Jimmy Uso here, what's it again? Jimmy Uso with a shot right between the eyes. And Jimmy just acknowledging a tribal chief, whether that is Roman Reigns or Solo Sikoa. That is something we need to find out. As technically, like I mentioned, Solo Sikoa is the tribal chief. That's Trick now, looking for the pump kick. Jimmy Uso out the way. Jimmy super kick again to the midsection. As Trick Williams is now in a bad way here. Jimmy Uso using those two stumps there to the back there. That's Jimmy now sending Trick into the corner here. And we're going to see a title change here tonight. That's Trick now. With Jimmy Uso now. Maybe thinking Uso smash with Trick out of the way. Trick now catches him with a drop kick. Well measured strike there from the United States champion. And Trick now looking for the pump handle again here. Looking to go big here. It's Trick Williams with Jimmy Uso. Says not today. With a deep arm drag there. It's Jimmy Uso now. Might be on this way to becoming United States champion here tonight. Jimmy with a super kick. And another one to the back of the head. And Jimmy now going to the top rope here to become United States champion. Looking for the Uso splash. But Trick stays alive. And Jimmy Uso can't quite believe it. But Jimmy fighting with a headbutt. That's Big Jim now. When deep waters now in this one, his best shot didn't get the job done. A shot to the back there. And Jimmy Uso trying to get the crowd behind him here. Jimmy now. Well, caught by Trick with that huge pump kick. But Jimmy's still alive. What a matchup we're seeing here tonight for the United States Championship. This is what this title means to both of these two. So Jimmy Uso, like I mentioned, has never been a singles champion in WWE. Jimmy Uso again went for that super kick. But Trick knows it could be all over if Jimmy gets it. That's classic Uso there. And Jimmy now sizing up Trick here. Connects with a super kick into the midsection, but didn't really get all of it. I think Trick had blocked it there. That's Trick Williams now. Shot to the midsection. Trick now flying in, looking for the clothesline, but no one was home. Jimmy, super kick. Is that it? And again, Trick is still alive in this one. There's Jimmy again with another super kick. And Trick could be on Dream Street here. As Big Jim now going to the top rope. Sending the shots there. They put this one away, but Trick out of the way. A Trick now. With a Trick shot. Is that it? But Jimmy's in it. I swear that was a free count by John Cone. I swear that was a free. And Trick wanting to say the same thing. That was a free count. And so Jimmy Uso rolling up Trick to steal the title. But Trick is out. Trick shot part 2. Now Trick here. The third and final Trick shot. And that's all she wrote here tonight. And Trick Williams retains once again. But the question is, I mean, it doesn't matter now because Trick won the matchup. But if Jimmy Uso won the title, it would have been a huge talking point. It looked like John Cone's hand went down for the free count and connected with the mat. The question is, did Jimmy Uso's shoulder get up before that? It looked very close. But what a showing it was for Jimmy Uso here tonight, his first match in a long time. Almost became United States champion right here with the Uso splash. And it was a very close count here, as you can see. A 2.5 count there for Jimmy Uso. And then after a super kick here, Jimmy Uso believed it was over. But Trick stayed alive. And right here, with a Trick shot, this is the moment. Was this a free count? 1, 2. It's very close. You could probably see that from that moment. But right here, Trick. Now desperation hit a second Trick shot, then hit the third. And put it to bed here tonight. And walks out once again. United States champion. But what a test that was from Jimmy Uso. You've got to imagine that Jimmy Uso will be looking for more opportunities after this showing here tonight. But Trick Williams defends the United States Championship. But let's see if Seth Rollins is going to get the World Heavyweight Championship shot he desires. And well, after that great title defense by Trick Williams, Seth Rollins is the man of his word. He has turned up here at Backlash in Lyon, France. The question is, will John Cena do the same? Or will John Cena be doing exactly what he said he was going to do and be on the beach somewhere, having a well-earned vacation in his eyes? Or is he coming here tonight to defend that championship against Seth Rollins? Well, these two exchange words on Raw, leading to Backlash. And well, Seth Rollins called John Cena a coward and a man who hides behind the contract he has now signed, which means John Cena has complete control as to when and where he defends his World Heavyweight Championship after winning it at WrestleMania against CM Punk in, well, scrutinous fashion. And we'll Seth here tonight, the man of the people, is looking to regain that championship for the people, a title he made prestigious, a title that he said is not being dragged in the dirt by a man he once respected, a man he once looked up to in John Cena. But let's find out if John Cena's going to turn up here tonight, or Seth Rollins is going to have to wait for his title opportunity as the crowd sing his song here in Lyon, France. And well, Seth Rollins awaiting John Cena. And well, wait, that's Carmelo Hayes with a steel chair. And Carmelo Hayes now raining shots down on Seth Rollins. What is Carmelo Hayes doing here in Lyon, France? This is meant to be John Cena defending his World Heavyweight Championship against Seth Rollins. But Carmelo Hayes is out here for some unknown reason. What is Carmelo Hayes doing here? As Seth Rollins is rocked out of those chair shots. And Carmelo Hayes driving Rollins face first into the turnbuckle pad. And Carmelo Hayes now exposing the turnbuckle pad in the other corner here as Carmelo Hayes fighting with a huge clothesline. As Rollins is in a bad way here. As Carmelo Hayes able to grind the pad and rain some punches to the face of Seth Rollins. Is this set up by John Cena, or is this Carmelo Hayes doing something of his own accord? Maybe Carmelo Hayes wants a World Heavyweight Championship shot against John Cena, or maybe Carmelo Hayes is working with John Cena, who knows? But Rollins is in a bad way. We need someone out here to help Seth Rollins. We need security. We need anyone to come out here to stop Carmelo Hayes. He's repeatedly just driving Rollins face first to expose steel turnbuckle pad here. And now raining some huge punches in the face of Seth Rollins. It is Carmelo Hayes. And well, Carmelo Hayes is saying something to Seth Rollins here. I'm not too sure what he's saying, but Carmelo Hayes now leg drop across the rope there. And Carmelo now has a kendo stick in hand here. Seth Rollins is in a bad way here. Seth Rollins is awaiting John Cena. But Carmelo Hayes has cheap shotted him here tonight. Has came out of nowhere. Threw that steel chair in his face, bent it over his body. And Rollins is, well, after being driven 5 or 6 times into exposed steel in the corner, is, well, seeing possibly double. Is possibly concussed here. Rollins is in a bad way. We need security. We need anyone to stop Carmelo Hayes from attacking Rollins here. It's Carmelo Hayes. Well, we know what that means for Carmelo Hayes. It's Melo once again now dragging Rollins over into the exposed corner here. And Rollins is now busted open. And Carmelo Hayes is looking to exacerbate the wound here. Well, Carmelo Hayes is looking around, seeing no security. And Carmelo Hayes is going to continue doing what he came out here to do. The question is, was this his own idea? Because there's no John Cena anywhere to be seen. And well, this is a dark look for Carmelo Hayes here tonight. As Seth Rollins there drop to ringside there. And Melo flying with a clothesline, taking him out as well. The crowd's trying to get behind Rollins here, but Rollins is out here. As Melo now driving Rollins face first into the turnbuckle, well, not the turnbuckle pad, sorry, into the barricade there. Back in the ring goes Rollins. So Melo Hayes now just stalking Seth Rollins here. And this is bad for Seth Rollins as Melo Hayes drives him face first into the mat there. We need answers. The last we saw Melo Hayes was losing to Trick Williams at WrestleMania. As Rollins getting back to his feet. Rollins now trying to fight back here with everything. It's got left at Melo with nothing but net. More message sent here by Melo Hayes, but by who?